Hey, so I want to talk a moment about the Foundation Trilogy by Isaac Asimov, one of the seminal works of science fiction. It's what puts him right up there with one of them. That puts him right up there with Heinlein, but H.G. Wells and all that. But he's also the one who brought you to I, Robots. You know, if you've seen those movies running around about I, Robot, those are terribly castrated versions of the sublime works of fiction and novels by Isaac Asimov about robotics. Okay, those are like, imagine someone cut off your nuts and shrank your dick to about, just like, freeze-dried your dick. That's what those movies are like compared to the philosophical power of Isaac and entertainment of Isaac Asimov's, robotics series. But that, I'm afraid, has taken us away from what I wanted to start talking about, which is the Foundation Trilogy. So now I'll just sum it up for you. The Foundation Trilogy is, the premise behind it is, that science has progressed far enough that one mathematician, which is sort of a joke, in my opinion, a mathematician makes the discovery that all human social interactions can be predicted by math. Now, this is ridiculous, okay? I mean, it makes it sound really flat, but it's not what it is, okay? What he's trying to convey is the idea that our social interactions can be thought of in a scientific, in other words, that they're controllable, they're manipulatable, they have rules, they have constants. And so what he does in the Foundation Trilogy is that essentially there's this secret hidden force that tries desperately to guide humanity down paths where it'll continue to survive, and then what they'll do is they'll have an empire. That's just this is all started back in the 40s or something. An empire that will actually survive. Because, see, they had an empire, but it was doomed, like all other empires, it was doomed, right? Well, this idea was that these scientists thought if we could just make a cache of knowledge that would transcend all of time and space, we could find a way so that the next empire forms in 10,000 years as opposed to 150,000 years. So all these agents and all these, men and women and institutions are sprinkled. Some of them were, red herrings, and some of them were real, and they were sprinkled all over the galaxy with missions that some of them which wouldn't be fulfilled for hundreds of years. All with the idea of rescuing humanity from a barbaric darkness that stretched through the eons. And it was funny because a lot of the human beings they were trying to save resented them because they thought that they were manipulating them, see? And so there were these epic, contests and feats and people trying to figure out ways to try to help people while still maintaining their independence, and it was just awesome. So that's the story, okay? Isaac Asimov, the Foundation Trilogy. And the reason I'm talking about it is because I feel like we're sort of there today, I think we need to be able to take on the idea that we can be responsible for our society, you see, in a really real fashion, not like, this empire rose up and collapsed and this empire rose up and collapsed, okay, or in this society women don't exist because we've decided that being dickless is a fault of some kind, okay, or maybe we decided, no, in this one we're white people because we're all powerful and whatever, now we can look down at everyone else. Or maybe this one we're going to be Russian and pretend we're dominating America while really we're being infatuated with America. So what I'm trying to say is we need to start thinking about our society in that kind of rigor. I don't think it's necessarily like a scientific process because, you see, human life is a creative one, which means that it's never going to necessarily be scientific. There'll be certain constants maybe, but they're not going to be that predictable necessarily because we live a spiritual, creative life and a physical life. The idea of 3,000 realms and a single moment of existence, as some Buddhists like to say. Right. So what I'm saying is that now, for the first time with so many people and so much media, we need to start being able to really think about our society and our actions and what we want and how to give everyone the most freedom possible while maintaining our survival and our equality and our independence. And the only way we're going to do that is by being able to think critically about ourselves and sort of step back and sort of look at things from, at least acknowledge the necessity and the possibility of being able to change our society to things that have greater values and what those values are. So just some thoughts. Peace.